So, you know, I often make videos that are like, my 5 favourite pedals, or 6 pedals you should know, 3 underrated pedals that you should know. And that's great. That's kind of, it gets the clicks, so shall we say. This video is not going to be that. Today's video is more about the unsung heroes of my studio setup, the stuff that is vital for me when I'm playing guitar, making videos, recording, but isn't a pedal, amp, or guitar. Some of this stuff, however, is tailored towards guitar players. Other stuff is tailored towards content creation, video production. All of it is important to me. And maybe it'll be important to you. Who knows, you might find it a little bit interesting to peek behind the curtain. This video is about getting nerdy about the little things, which is what I am, a nerd. First up, let's talk cables. Now this is exciting to me already. All my cables these days are made by Practical Patch, and what he's doing is absolutely top notch. These are my instrument cables, my guitar cables, and they are all, the cable itself is Sommer Spirit XXL cable, super high quality cable, and all the jacks are Neutrik gold plated. You might be wondering why bother with high quality cable at all? Well, it helps retain all that information coming from your guitar through your pedal board and into your amp. It helps drive that signal so it's stronger, has more clarity. It's also a feel thing, weirdly enough. This is going to be some snake oil stuff, but there is something in the feel when what you're putting into the guitar with your fingers is coming out exactly through the amp because of the high quality cable and a clean signal path. There's something to be said for that. I love what Practical Patch is doing as well. Like I said, all my cables are this at the moment, including my speaker cables from my amps. I love what he's doing. Great stuff, really dependable, and doesn't break the bank, basically. Next, we got to talk about tools, because I got a bit of a hot take when it comes to tools. You can spend a lot of money on guitar-specific tools. And yes, there are some jobs where those tools are needed, but I think you can save a lot of money and maybe get higher quality stuff if you just go and look for general hardware store tools. For example, like these. This is my Allen key set. It's just from Wilco's. This would have cost me nothing, but I've had them for years and I use them literally all the time. Now, would the equivalent set from somewhere like, I don't know, I'm not even going to name names, a guitar brand cost more money? Yes, it would. Would they be as good? Maybe, but these are cheaper. I will say though, when it comes to tools and what I use all the time, the real MVP is going to be my Leatherman Wave. Pliers, knife, screwdrivers, this thing is literally never too far from arm's reach. It's always in my gig bag, it's also always in my like video equipment bag if I'm going for a shoot. Literally take this anywhere with me where I'm doing something professional. I don't carry anything like this, but when I'm going on a shoot or a gig or something like that, it's always in my bag. And you know what? It's so high quality, it'll probably outlive me. Okay, next up is a little bit of a curveball, and it's my tripod. For years, I was using cheap Amazon tripods, just replacing them every time one inevitably broke. But then Thorpe actually turned me on to Three-Legged Thing, a camera gear tripod company out of the UK, and I ended up getting a Bucky tripod, this right here, and honestly, it was an immediate upgrade to the previous tripods I'd used. The build quality, the strength of the joints, the hinges, the legs themselves, also just the stability and the feel of it was miles ahead of anything I'd used before. Meaning that my footage and the angles I want to get are not only easier to get, but when I do get them, they're more stable. It also goes like 2 meters high, which is crazy because when you pack it down, it's so compact. I traveled to London and did a shoot with this like 2 weeks ago. If you're into video production, you're into cameras or anything, really check out this brand, Three-Legged Thing. By the way, I'll leave links to everything in this video down below, so go check out this as well as everything else. Thanks to Thorpe and Three-Legged Thing for making such good stuff. Also, for car nerds out there, this is mostly made out of carbon fiber, so you'll know that it is super strong and still really light. Okay, back in guitar world now, and you know what, this is probably the most important piece of gear I own, full stop, and it's this, my Boss Waza tube amp expander. Like I said, this is absolutely vital to my setup. It lets me crank my amps while still being silent in the room and still get killer recorded guitar tones, in my opinion. It is literally the backbone of my recording setup, lives integrated in my rig permanently. It's not a new piece of gear, so I'm sure a lot of you know what this does and the features, but things like the reactive load, all the routing options, it just works day in, day out. I've had it for years. It's not flashy, but it literally has changed the game for me. Okay, next up, let's talk picks. Picks are very important to us guitar players, and you know what? I've gone through probably hundreds, boutique ones, expensive ones, cheap ones even. For the longest time, I really settled on Hawk picks. I've got a few here. Great stuff, made in the UK. I've also got some chicken picks here. They're also good, maybe a little too thick for me. Also honey picks. Honey picks are making great stuff as well. But you know what? I was using my Hawk picks, my absolute favorite one, and I lost it. I lost it, and I kind of had a bit of a light bulb moment where I was like, right, that is 20 quid down the drain on one pick. So yeah, that was a bit of a wake-up moment, shall we say. And I ended up getting a pack of these Dunlop Prime Tone picks. And you know what? I really like these picks. As someone who's tried nearly everything, I've kind of settled on these Prime Tone picks. This is a 1.5mm, kind of typical Dunlop shape, but it's smooth, it's accurate, it's really durable. I've used this one a lot already and you can barely tell. And yeah, I've stuck with them for a couple of years now, and I don't have to think about what pick I'm gonna use anymore because I just use this. Okay, let's talk a little bit about camera gear. I often get asked about what camera I'm using. It is a Sony A7C, really cool camera from Sony. I've shot everything from guitars to Formula One cars with that camera actually. It's really served me well. If anything, actually, it's upgraded my photography game even more than my video game. But I wanted to mention something else, actually. This is the real cheat code. I call this my cheat code when it comes to videography. And it is just a bit of card with some colors on one side and this on the other side. Now this is the important side. This is what we call middle gray, this big bit of gray here. And when I'm shooting in S-Log3, which is a profile on the camera, I expose this bit to 55%. This is gonna get nerdy. I expose this bit to 55% with the metering on the camera. And then I know that my footage, my angle, is gonna be pretty much perfectly exposed every single time. It's gonna have the right level of highlights and shadows, just using this. It works every single time. This is my cheat code to videography and I highly recommend it. And it's just a piece of card basically. Okay, another thing with camera stuff, you see this little thing on my t-shirt? This is my lav mic, a wireless lav mic. It's a Rode Wireless Me Go I, something like that. It's not the most expensive one. It might even be the cheapest one, but you know what? It's changed the game for me when it comes to recording audio, especially voice, for these videos. First of all, I have one on my t-shirt, obviously, and then the receiver plugged directly into my camera, meaning that the audio records directly onto my footage. So that's one less step in editing. I used to set up an SM7B, which is a really high quality studio microphone, on a mic stand with an XLR obviously into my interface, and not only did I have to sync that up in post, but also in a cramped studio it was just getting way too much, and especially with pedal boards and lighting gear and tripods and stuff, it was just getting too much. These don't provide quite the same quality, audio quality, as the SM7B, but what they lack in audio quality, I gain back in convenience and consistency. I'm sure you see loads of creators use this sort of thing. They've become very popular for good reason. Now, if you love pedals as much as I do, and maybe you make content around pedals, or you just like displaying them, these little MarcusDluxe vertical pedal boards are great. I think everybody should have one of these if you play guitar and you love pedals. You see loads of creators using these when they're making demos for good reason. They just make everything easier, and they also still look great and classy. And they just make my life easier. And Marcus is such a cool guy, I'm happy to support what he's doing. Okay, this is the last thing I want to show you. This little thing here is an Aperture MC Pro, I think, something like that. Aperture MC, and it's a light, a colored light. And so I basically put this in the background of my videos, like you can see up there, and it just provides a bit of interest, a bit of color, and a bit of separation between me and the background of the video. They're magnetic, so you can stick them to things, metal things. They're bright, easy to use, and they just kind of get that YouTubey, punchy, colourful look really easily. Very useful for photography as well if you just need to light something from a different angle. I use it a lot for pedal photography. A brilliant tool to have, and I kind of just think it's fun, just having a bit of colour. I don't know. So there you go, a quick look at some of the gear I can't live without that isn't an amp, that isn't a pedal, that isn't a guitar. Even if they're not super flashy, they are still just as important to me. Let me know what gear you rely on when you're playing guitar or making music. And if you're a content creator, what tools do you use that make your life easier? Drop it in the comments below, I'd really love to know.